Okay, next up is our unfinished item of business, which we will hopefully finish. We will see. This is the subject of the response to the Council colleagues memo regarding the development of a comprehensive energy efficiency and renewables procurement strategy. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes talking about this one since I've given this matter some thought. Let me just say, Director Fong, I assume you have nothing you particularly need to add on this one. Everyone certainly remembers that we received a memo from the City Council in May of 2010 asking for our input on the issue of essentially the trade-off between renewable energy PPAs versus increased energy efficiency efforts, as well as procurement of renewable energy locally and or through projects with NCPA or otherwise. The City Council approved that memo and sent it to us, so it's really not just from the 4 authors of the memo, but from the full City Council. We have certainly spent time considering it, and staff, to their credit, and in April of this year provided us, meaning the UAC, with a draft response to that memo, a very comprehensive response, and we've all reviewed that. I would characterize our response to that as sort of scratching our head a bit and saying, should we send it as is? Should we modify it? Should we do something else? And over the last few months, we have not really been able to sort of come to a conclusion on how to do that. And hopefully tonight we will finalize that. I will share my view. I think at this point that I'm not sure the memo, just frankly, personally, is exactly the structure I would have written, but substantively I think it's fine. And so I would be fine moving forward with it. Having said that, Commissioner Eglash contacted me this afternoon and suggested that if we move forward, perhaps it would make sense to include a document of an executive summary of some sort. I said I thought that would be an excellent idea, and Commissioner Eglash, to his credit, in extremely short notice, put together a document that he will share with us, and then we can discuss Commissioner Eglash's document, the staff memo, and anything else about this. So with that, I will turn it over to Commissioner Eglash.
So I think the staff report is terrific, and it's comprehensive, and it does this great job of pointing out that staff has been working diligently in this area for years, and that the UAC has seen a large number of reports and presentations, and we've spent hours discussing different aspects of this. As I thought about the council colleague members' memo, it seemed to me that there was a benefit in providing a short, plain English statement of what our approach is to these issues. And so I took a stab at doing that, and what I'd like to do is share it with everyone, and it's fairly short, it's fairly straightforward. If it's to everyone's liking, then we could talk about it. If there's not much editing to do, edit it as a group and perhaps vote to have that attached to staff's report as an executive summary, or perhaps as something contributed by the UAC, whatever form is most appropriate. If my fellow commissioners don't like it, or if it's the kind of thing that we need to take offline, then of course we can discuss that as well. So if it's okay with everyone, I brought sufficient copies for everyone here, but also I think given the nature of this meeting, it needs to be read. It only takes about 5 minutes for me to read it. Is that okay with everyone?
So let's go ahead and do that.
Shall I go ahead and read this now? Toward a comprehensive energy efficiency and renewable energy strategy, executive summary, UAC response to council colleagues memo. This executive summary is intended to accompany the Utilities Department report of April 6, 2011, in response to the council colleagues memo regarding the development of a comprehensive energy efficiency and renewables procurement strategy. This executive summary sacrifices completeness in order to be concise. The Utilities Department report should be consulted for complete details. The City Council asked the Utilities Advisory Commission to make recommendations to the City Council on, 1, the relative benefits of undertaking energy efficiency projects locally versus purchasing renewable energy supplies to meet energy loads. And 2, alternative mechanisms to power purchase agreements to acquire renewable supplies, including locally sited supplies and investing in or owning generation through partnering with Northern California Power Agency members or other means. These are complex and multifaceted issues that involve consideration of competing goals in the presence of uncertainty. Environmental quality, reliability of energy supply, and least cost need to be balanced. Uncertainties include the future cost of energy and the effectiveness of demand reduction through energy efficiency improvements. City of Palo Alto utility staff have worked on these issues for some time, during which they've provided the UAC with numerous presentations and reports that have been the subject of extensive discussions at UAC meetings. The current strategy includes the following major elements. Least cost approach. CPAU uses a least cost approach that includes an assessment of environmental costs and benefits and values energy efficiency at least as high as renewable energy, including the value of avoiding losses and transmission charges. Alternatives to renewable power purchase agreements. All options for attaining renewable power are considered, including partnering with other Northern California Power Agency members in projects and pursuing locally generated renewable power. On the latter point, CPAU and UAC have recently recommended a feed-in tariff program that will spur the development of local renewable generation. Energy efficiency. CPAU has a comprehensive energy efficiency program that includes end-use analysis, potential for reduction in demand due to energy efficiency improvements, the cost and expected impact of energy efficiency programs, and benchmarking with other municipal and investor-owned utilities. This energy efficiency program is aggressive but realistic. New energy efficiency technologies are adopted slowly, and each subsequent improvement in efficiency is more difficult than the previous one. In summary, the UAC and CPAU staff have adopted an approach, and this is where I'm proposing one edit to the document. The document says of, I'm proposing we say that includes. The UAC and CPAU staff have adopted an approach that includes looking at alternatives to renewable energy power purchase agreements. 2 alternatives that are being pursued are a feed-in tariff to encourage locally sited renewable energy and ongoing emphasis on energy efficiency. Renewable energy power purchase agreements will continue to be evaluated and recommended as part of a portfolio approach to meeting Palo Alto's renewable portfolio standard in a cost-effective manner. This approach will continue in the future as both the UAC and CPAU search for the best and most cost-effective ways to meet Palo Alto's energy goals. That's the end.
Commissioner Eglash, thank you very much. I'd like to turn it over to members of the UAC for comments, but before I do so, Director Fong, I'd like to know if you have any specific comments or substantive disagreements with anything in this memo that refers to CPAU or CPAU staff.
I have no disagreements with anything in here.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Okay. Commissioner Eglash, anything else you want to say on this before we turn it over? Okay. Well, I'm going to say a word myself. I am comfortable with this memo. I did see an earlier draft of it. I'm comfortable with it as is, transmitting it along with the report prepared by CPAU staff in April as is. But I think the conversation here should be, do folks feel comfortable with that approach? Do we feel we need to make changes to either Commissioner Eglash's memo or the staff memo? Or do we need to do something different altogether? Commissioner Melton?
I want to at least get a motion on the table. I move that we forward to council the April 6th staff report with the executive summary prepared by Commissioner Eglash on top.
We need a second for that.
Second.
Commissioner Waldfogel has seconded that. And Director Fong, did you catch the motion from Commissioner Waldfogel, seconded by Commissioner Melton, seconded by Commissioner Waldfogel, to forward the Commissioner Eglash's drafted memo together with the staff memo. So there's a second. Now we have discussion on that before we vote. Anyone wish to discuss that? No? In that case, all in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? How about that? Thank you. And Commissioner Eglash, thank you for your work on that, as well as to everyone for their time and effort.